Order. Historical Preservation Commission meeting on April 6th. Any citizens' comments?
No citizen comments today.
All right.
We don't have any, we don't have an applicant in the audience, no citizens in the audience.
Very well. All right, so let's start with the new business. So let's approve the minutes for the March 2nd meeting. Those who want to accept the minutes, approval of the minutes for March 2nd, say aye.
No, you need a motion.
Oh,
I make a motion to.
make a motion? There we go.
Second it.
Perfect.
Any discussion?
Discussions? No? All right.
All in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect.
Any opposed?
Opposition?
No, fantastic.
Okay. Approval of the minutes for March 16th, 2023, the Plaque Project Subcommittee meeting. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve that.
Okay.
I wasn't there, so I shouldn't make a motion. And, but,
You can second it if you read it and you feel like they are correct.
yeah, I read it, so, yes.
Okay.
I'll second it. You can second it too. Yeah, why don't you second?
You already seconded, Dennis.
All right. Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Perfect. Moving on. Certificate of Appropriate West End Historic District. An application by Ray Skelton on behalf of JMS Family Limited Partnership at 830 Main Street for replacement of existing window, door, and transom with a new one.
Okay, so in the packet, included was the application. This, so the address says 830, but it's actually on the side of the building, and I believe it might operate under a new 6th Street address. So this is on the corner of Main and New 6th Street. So they provided a photo of what the door and window look like currently. You can see that the transom has been boarded up, window has also been boarded up. Door is just a basic door. They did not provide me with a colored version, but it does appear that it's a glass door with a glass transom and a glass window. And we do have a representative from JMS Family with us, and then the architect, Greg Costello from Costello Carm Architects, is on the Zoom with us if the commission has any questions. That's what I got.
Great improvement.
All right.
So are there any questions for the applicant or the architect?
That's going to make that look much better. Yeah, and then open it up for the business in there. Is there business in there?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think there's like is it like a dog salon?
yeah.
Yeah, a groomer.
So, pet groomer. So that will definitely be an improvement.
It looks like it'll take it back to probably what it more closely looked like in the past.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's no questions at this time for our applicant or the architect, I'll just have you go through
We're gonna start.
the review sheet.
Ready, group?
Ready?
All right. So, as far as the guidelines go, brick, stone, and concrete. Buildings with brick exterior walls may be structural, load-bearing brick, or simply a brick veneer covering and other structural material. As I look through here, preservation of historic brick and stone, it looks like they're going to keep all of that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're making any changes to the,
There's no changes to that. Reappointing with same, a type of mortar.
so maybe we should go with, do we feel we need to review this section since they're not proposing any changes
To the brick.
work?
No, and there's no I mean, besides some caulking or something
My,
around
my
the,
brain would say that this section is not applicable because they are not proposing any changes to the brick.
and I would say you're exactly right. Let's just say this whole one. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to B. Materials, or metal, excuse me. It looks like this is this a metal door frame now? That's there? Or is that wood?
I think so, but that's probably,
That's all gonna change, isn't it?
well, that's probably a question for Greg, honestly, Ed.
All right, so Greg, go ahead.
The existing is a metal door and a metal frame.
Okay, so we're basically replacing it with like materials.
Cor-
And just for colors, is there going to be any color differences? What color is it gonna be, black or?
They'll match what's there already, and I think it's kind of a light brown.
Okay, very well, so not a lot of changes there, okay.
No, it'll match the rest of the building.
So metals were often used in historic buildings, particularly for ornamental elements such as columns and cornicles, utilitarian features such as door and windows and hardware. I think this is applicable because it is the door that they're changing out and it is
Okay, so
metal.
let's go.
Okay, so let's go with it. Starting with 1, preservation of character, defining historical metal features. I'd say yes.
Yes.
Anybody else? Okay. Maintaining historical protective coatings on metal features. Sounds like they're going to try to actually keep it the same, so that's a yes for me. Anybody else? Fine. Repair of historical metal features if needed by patching and splicing with compatible metal.
They're not repairing.
They're-
They're
no,
replacing.
they're
So it's
replacing,
yes,
yeah.
Not applicable.
NA. Cleaning if needed with, okay.
Would be applicable.
I don't think that's gonna be applicable. Providing proper drainage to prevent water damage to historical metal elements.
I think that's more if they're doing
Yeah,
a,
if
like a roof drain or something, which is
Right, I don't
would
think
not
this does not apply. All right, moving on to C. Historical wooden elements include doors, window sash, and sometimes ornament or siding. I think with the window being changed, I think we should just go through this real quick. Preservation of character defining historical wood features, repair of historical wood features if needed by patching and splicing with compatible wood, replacement in kind with the same size, type, and material if the historical element is too deteriorated to repair. I don't think they're changing any of the outlining of the windows, except this is all wood that you guys have boarded up this window with, and then, will the metal of the window go from frame to frame?
The window will be a wood stopped window, and
Okay,
it's just the door frame that is metal, and then it has wood trim on the outside of it to
Okay.
have it blend into the wood stopped glass for the transom and the window. This is very similar to the detailing we would do along Main Street in the different historical wood storefront assemblies.
and the window, it's gonna be a wooden window, did you say?
The casing
Yeah, the
around the
casing,
window will be
yes.
wood, yes,
Okay, perfect.
yes.
So I would say it matches, yes, yes. There we go. Maintaining historical protective coatings such as paint of historical colors on wood features. I believe they're gonna do it all the same.
they said they were gonna use the same colors.
Yes, so yes. Cleaning if needed. I believe they do that.
I don't think that
They need to,
applies.
but it doesn't apply, yeah.
Unless there's some cleaning to the.
You gotta clean it up a little bit, but I mean,
We'll take care of that.
yep. Providing proper drainage to prevent water damage to historical elements. I'd say should be
Doesn't appear to be
fine.
an issue by the
No.
looks of that.
Nope. So let's say yes. Okay. moving on. D, design guidelines for historical building elements. Preservation of character, defining historical features of the storefront and main facade, including display windows, bulkheads, entryways, doors, transom, lights, upper story windows, cornices, and parapets. I'd say we're good on that. Yes?
Yes.
If a storefront has been altered, restoration to the original design is no longer, I think that's not applicable. If the altered storefront has acquired historic significance in its own right, preserving the altered storefront, I'd say this is not applicable either because it's not a storefront, it's on the side of the building. Preservation of historical storefronts on the secondary building facades.
So this one would apply.
This would apply, and I'd say it's a yes. Okay? Perfect. Okay to move on?
Yep.
E, windows. This section addresses windows other than display windows generally situated on upper levels of a commercial building. Most historical windows of the 1880s to 1960s period are wood sash, although some later windows during this period are metal sash. Let's go ahead, just because it is a window. Number one, preserving the function and decorative features of historic windows, including sash, glazing, sills, moldings, hardware, and trim. Features too deteriorated to repair can be replaced in kind. They're gonna replace the whole window, so I'd say
Yes.
yes. Preservation of historical window openings, particularly on highly visible primary facades. Yes. Everybody okay with that? All right. If replacement of historical windows is necessary, use of new windows that retain the appearance of the originals, particularly on highly visible primary facades, is desirable. Matching the sash profile and materials is recommended. At a minimum, replacement windows should match the number and position of glass panes and be composed of materials that appear similar to the originals.
That's a yes.
I think, yes. Use of storm windows, particularly on building interior.
Storm windows.
I don't think that's not applicable, right? All right. Let's go to doors. F. This section addresses exterior doors, generally situated on the ground level of a commercial building. Most historical doors of the 1880s to 1960s period are wood or wood and glass, although some later doors during this period are metal or metal and glass. Number one, preserving the function and decorative features of the historic doors, particularly the main entrance. Important historical doors features include the door, side lights, transom lights, hardware, and decorative detailing. Features too deteriorated to repair can be replaced in kind. I'd say yes. How you feel about that?
I mean, I think they previously replaced, whatever the original door
Yes.
was with a solid metal door, and so they're trying to go back to what that
The
more decorative look probably was.
Right. I think they're going to get closer to original than what
Much-
this is. Yes.
Much closer than the solid metal door.
Are we
Number
okay with the
two
yes
is
on that,
yes.
guys?
Yeah.
Preservation of historical doorway openings, particularly on high visible primary facades, yes. All right. One more in this section. If replacement of historical doors is necessary, use of new doors that retain the appearance of the original materials and design, particularly on highly visible facades, is desirable, Replacement with a very ornate door is discouraged unless supported by historical photographic evidence. I don't think they're going with anything too
It's a yes.
crazy. I think this is a yes. No,
No roof?
no roof, this should be not applicable. Okay. Moving on.
No
Awnings and canopies, I don't think this applies either.
Nope.
Okay. Chimneys, does not apply. Balconies, does not apply. Design guidelines for additions to historic buildings.
No, that
This
doesn't
is not
apply.
an addition, this is replacement.
L doesn't apply.
Design guidelines for parking facilities, nope. Does not apply. Okay. Still there, that's a long one.
Right, that's the long one.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
trying to cover like all the things that aren't building specific, so it has to list
Exactly.
basically, I think.
Design guidelines for new construction, so this is not applicable,
Correct.
not new construction. And that's the end.
So do we have to use the new address in doing the approval, or?
No, because they've used, so that you use the address that they submitted.
I move that we approve the certificate of appropriateness for the West End Historic District at 830 Main.
Discussion?
We'll talk about it. I think it's pretty straightforward, looks pretty good. What do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, no, I think I appreciate this. I believe this is the property that the owner of the doggy place contacted me about. So I appreciate that it came to the forefront and is being addressed for it. But yeah, I think it more than meets the certificate for appropriateness.
All right,
Fantastic. So we have a motion and a second. Let's have a vote.
all right, let's vote on this. Those in favor of approving the certificate of appropriateness for 830 Main Street, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, it passes with flying colors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you
just
for your
realized
time.
I didn't do-
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Greg.
What do I got here?
Like, my packet, I think is different than your guys' packet. Hope it's in there. Okay, so you have to, I do, for the next one.
For the next one, okay, here we go. And if you want, thanks for coming, Britt.
Yeah, see you.
Greg already took off, so thanks. All right. Moving on. Certificate of Appropriateness, Normal Hill Heritage Overlay Zone. An application by Decker.
Oh, you need the other one over there.
That one. There we go. Application by Decker Construction to replace 10 existing windows with new vinyl windows of same shape and size at 215 Prospect Avenue.
I'm gonna borrow your thing.
This one?
Yeah, because I don't have it with me. I put it in, but I didn't print myself a separate one. Okay, so this is,
Is this the old Butts house?
yes. Yeah, I kept calling it the pink house, and the guy looked at me like I was crazy, because it's not pink anymore. Okay, so this is, it's now referred to as the Prospect Manor. It's gone through a couple iterations. So what they're looking to replace is on this, I believe it used to be like a porch. But so these are, there's 3 windows on the north side, 3 windows on the west side, and 4 windows on the east side of this little bump out. They were letting water in and causing damage to the interior floor. So they're proposing to replace all 10 of those. They will be replaced with a vinyl window, but the vinyl window will be the same.
Just the
It does
same.
have the curve, and then it does have the stripe. So this is actually like one window currently with the little slat pieces, but they'll replace it with individual vinyl windows, so it'll still have that same look of having the slat, but that will be vinyl and
This
not
is
wood.
closer to the screen that was there before you were born.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it used to be like a screened in like sleeping portion,
Right.
right? But so he did, and he didn't bring it when he did the actual application, but when the contractor first came in, he had like the catalog of
The
windows.
Mhm.
And they are gonna go with one that is actually arched the same, because it has that wood trim piece there. So the vinyl will actually be arched like that with all the
Okay.
windows.
Gorgeous home.
So
It
it will look the same. And then you'll notice that they also included, just because he included it, they'll be replacing the decking on the wraparound porch. That doesn't require a permit, so technically it doesn't require review by you guys.
Is it the rail you mean?
No, the actual decking, the
Oh,
part you
decking.
walk
Oh,
on is
okay.
getting
Decking's
soft in
very
some,
old.
yeah, it's getting soft in some places, so they're gonna actually, like when you walk up on it, you know, the
Okay,
part that actually
yeah.
wraps around, the part that lays on top.
Okay.
But what you're reviewing is the
The
10 windows that they're going to replace. So it should look the same and it'll have that same curve to them. So that look will not be changed.
That added a little bit to the cost, I'm sure, to have that curve put
I
in there.
think it does make it a little more expensive for the windows, but.
But it's gonna be a great look, so.
Yes, it does preserve the actual, historical kind of look of
Very traditional.
that portion of the home, so.
Mhm.
I think that that's kind of it.
I just remember when that house was done by the Butts family, and it was
I think,
so, I mean, so much done to that house.
and then when the Taylors owned it, they also did,
Yeah,
they did more, interior work to it. Not as much
Inside, yeah.
exterior
Gorgeous,
stuff, but, it's a very pretty home and definitely one that is very recognizable, along Prospect. Everybody knows what that house is. So that's that, and then if you'll just let's go through the, heritage overlay checklist and.
There we
Just have to
go.
go to the character page, is that our factor page?
The factors,
yes.
yes.
So, where is mine? Okay, so, factor one, the historic character of a property shall be retained and preserved. The removal of historic materials or alterations of features and spaces that characterize a property should be avoided.
So that's a yes.
And each property shall be recognized as a physical record of its time, place, and use. Changes that create a false sense of historical development, such as adding conjecture, features, or architectural elements from other buildings shall not be undertaken.
That's a yes.
That's, we comply. Most properties change over time. Those changes that have acquired historic significance in their own right shall be retained and preserved.
Well, that's where the windows as opposed to what it was originally.
Yeah, having screens. So they are preserving, I would say that probably applies. Distinctive features, finishes, and construction techniques or examples of craftsmanship that characterize a property shall be preserved. So like we talked about the curve of the window, they are going to preserve the curve of the window.
Yes.
Deteriorated historical features should be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity of the deterioration requires replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature shall match the old in design, color, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, materials. Replacement of missing features shall be substantiated by physical or pictorial document evidence. So I don't think they're replacing any features, but they are maintaining, again,
Yeah, they're changing the
the
materials,
curvature of the window.
but I'm sure it has deteriorated enough where they needed to replace that.
Yeah, so it sounds
So-
like the current windows let in quite a bit of water, and that has caused some problems with the flooring inside. And so they're gonna actually be replacing interior flooring in
As well.
conjunction
Yeah.
with the windows. Okay, so that's a yes.
I'd say yes.
Then the last two don't apply.
Yeah, so new additions, it's not an addition, and then new additions, again, not a new addition. So we're saying yes to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with 6 and 7 not applying. Am I
Yep.
correct in that statement?
Yes.
Well, it says exterior alterations. Is that not?
Well, so it's just a replacement, so it's not, usually an alteration is gonna be,
Like if they were taking the curves out, or they were
yes,
doing any
or
of
if
those
they,
things,
yes, or
yeah.
if they were gonna take the front off, or if they were going to board it up so that it was
Right.
solid,
Or
doing some.
screen it in again or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, switch something out, then we would probably talk about that. But usually we're looking at things that are going to be, major changes that are going to look different from what is existing. then we would look at, because then it says, is it compatible with the massing, size,
Right.
scale, architectural features of the existing environment and property? So since they're just replacing the windows and they're trying to replace them in a manner that is as matching as possible, I guess I don't feel like those apply. Does anyone else feel like those might apply?
I don't know, I feel like because they're not changing the look of it at all.
I think we're ready for a motion, are we?
Yes.
That makes sense.
You wanna take the motion? So you just move to approve
The certificate of appropriateness.
certificate of
I
appropriateness.
move to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 215 Prospect Avenue.
Go.
Second.
Any discussion?
Let's take a vote. Those who want to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 215 Prospect, let's say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Fantastic.
It passes. All right.
This is the part that I wrote off. So sorry.
You're fine. All right, so we're going to move on to review and approval of plaques narratives.
Okay, so this is, we tried to have that special meeting and we didn't make a quorum, so it's in front of you today. So this is the narratives that Leah had come up with for buildings 14 through 23. These were reviewed and approved by Dr. Grantine. Everybody hopefully has had an opportunity to read through them.
You know, Greg read through them and he thought they were good. I read through them on that day and I just think they're great. I think she's done a fantastic job.
Yes, she has. She's done a lot of work, a lot of hours on
Yes,
this.
a
Work,
lot
and
of work.
just kudos to Miss Leah. So,
Okay, so if there's no discussion, I feel like we could just vote on these if everybody's reviewed and feels like they're good to
Move
go.
that we approve the narratives
Yep.
as presented by the subcommittee.
you got a second? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and vote on approving the narratives for the Plaques project. Those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, I would aye too. Those opposed? None?
Fantastic. So I will get
It-
those plaques
yes.
ordered.
Sweet!
Very good. Okay,
Yeah, that's exciting.
it is exciting.
You know, that's about a year, was that about a year?
Like a year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half of work and thank you for all the commissioners that participated and this is gonna be exciting and it's a cool project that we get to do, so awesome.
Should be very good. Okay, so next is review, so the finance department has asked me just to review the travel and financial policy with you guys. So included in your packet is the page from finance that reviews that policy and then the request form. So if any of the commissioners or myself were to attend anything outside of the city for a training purpose or a convention purpose or some other historical event that we thought had value and needed to attend. This is the policy of how we do that. It does have to be requested and approved.
The reimbursement amounts are laughable.
I'm not in charge of that, so I'm just saying this is what I got, so.
Shoot the messenger.
We've got it, we've read it. We'll have to take out a bank loan to back you up on.
So just for review, so this is not required for any sort of the local training or anytime I send you guys a webinar link. Not required for any of those sorts of things, because usually those are free and don't require like an additional approval. So this would be like if you went somewhere, if they held something in Boise or in Coeur d'Alene or wherever.
So
So
what do you do if you find out after the fact that they wanna reimburse you? What are you supposed to do?
I think you would contact me and let me know.
Okay.
we can figure it out. So in that particular instance, that, I'm gonna put that one on SHPO, because SHPO knows that they can't reimburse a person individually. They know that they can only reimburse the jurisdiction. So that was them dropping the ball,
Okay.
100%. So that would be the other thing. If you get a scholarship from any sort of governmental agency, they cannot reimburse you directly. Do not believe them if they say that they can or will, because they're lying.
Okay.
They have to reimburse through another governmental agency, through a jurisdiction. So if, we'll use SHPO as an example. So SHPO offers scholarships to attend conferences and stuff. I have forwarded that information to you guys in the past. That has to be done through myself and the city to do that application, and you would have to fill out this form. Because they cannot reimburse you directly. They can reimburse the city would reimburse you whatever the amount is that they're going to grant you.
Okay.
And so that's why these things are important, because then that also lets me know that you're going to something, and I'm probably a little more efficient in collecting information than SHPO is. Because I would be requiring that as soon as you returned from attending something like this, that you're providing me with your receipts and your documentation of your travel and stuff. That way we can get your reimbursement check processed quickly. And finance prefers that also, because if you wait, I mean, depending on when you go, sometimes that can cause problems for them with having to reconcile budgets and stuff, because of financial years and stuff. So please read through. I don't think trainings that are out of town come up super often, but this is information that you as a commissioner need to know if you're going to represent the city and attend a training on the city's behalf. So please be aware of that information. Okay, what's my next one? It is, okay. So many things on my list today. Okay, so the next is, so we've talked a couple times about the comprehensive plan rewrite happening. And Lisa, I did not forward this to you, but I will after the meeting so that you can do it also. There is also a link available on the city website, so I'll just send that to you so that you can work through the questionnaire.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
So as part of the comprehensive plan rewrite, we're doing a large public outreach. So that kicked off literally this week. And so the first step is doing a bunch of public outreach and then some community interviews. And this questionnaire is one of those ways that we're doing that. So this is available on our website. I will be attending a bunch of community events, handing out cards that link people to this website. I'm gonna give you some to take to the dorm, Kaylee, because I would love to have students participate also. And so we'll be having all of the boards and commissions fill this out. And so I brought you guys paper ones because my link went live like 15 minutes before the meeting started. Mm-hmm. So rather than try to finagle that, I just brought you paper forms. So I wanted us to do this together, and then I'll collect these from you guys at the end, and I'll get them entered so that information goes to our consultants and they do all the back end part where they
Enter the data.
Enter all the data, yes. So there will be 3 phases to the project. So this is phase 1. This is some data collection, and then based off of this information, they do some formulations of additional questions to kind of drive the different areas of the comprehensive plan that have to be done. So then I will come back to the commission when we do phase 2, which will be like July or August. And there'll be a different set of questions for you guys to review and answer. And then once the plan starts to actually become a plan in draft form, we'll come back again and we'll do some review of different sections that are applicable to this commission. So that's that.
On 2B1, is that word supposed to be no and just not rather than now?
2B1. Yes, it's supposed to be no. I have the ghetto version, I'm sorry. There are typos because.
2B1 is
Yeah, so do you find Lewiston / the Valley welcoming to tourists and newcomers? It's either yes, no, not now, or other.
All right.
Okay, so the first one is describe your relationship. So you live here, you work here, you're a student here, or you live or work in Clarkston and you're a frequent,
Okay, and you check all that apply. Okay,
yes.
not just one.
Yeah, because I mean, you would put whatever applies to you. So I live, work, or study in the Valley. I live here full-time, I live here part-time. I'm a student here, I work here full-time. I work here seasonally, I own or run a business here, I'm just visiting. None of these apply to me, etc. And then how long have you lived, studied, or worked in Lewiston? So whatever that time period is. If you've been here less than 5 years, share what you'd like to see in Lewiston to make you stay here long-term. Kaylee, that's a you question. None of you are visitors, so you won't have to do 2B. 2B1, like Dennis said, is do you find Lewiston and or the Valley welcoming tourists and newcomers? So that can be a yes or a no or an other. What do you love most about Lewiston? Family-friendly environment, the small town feel, the strong sense of community, the quality of life, outdoor recreational opportunities, the waterfront, job opportunities, housing affordability, four-season fun, educational opportunities, or other, and you can just jot in whatever that answer might be. And then number 4 is in regard to health and well-being. So in planning for the comprehensive plan, we found a grant opportunity from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Idaho to add an extra element that specifically addresses or asks questions regarding the health and well-being and the social determinants of that. And so there are a list of them. And so these are, how do you feel like the current environment of Lewiston supports these items? So it's specifically worded as to what extent do you think Lewiston, its services and programs, housing and economic options, community cohesion, public spaces and recreation supports the following health and well-being elements for you?
Is it somewhat a word?
There's someone.
Oh, the cat or the column.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I think it's a, I think it's a word.
Question mark.
Who knows? But
Services, like, I mean, is that like doctor services? Can not doctors be put under that services?
That's what I would think health services
We're not
is.
doing that.
That's how I have worded it. You guys are only my second group that I've done this questionnaire with, so I take that as, so it's like for physical, so it includes frequency of exercise, access to healthy foods, avoiding harmful habits, and access to health services. So I think that is the availability of doctors. Do you find you have the kinds of doctors that you need here? Are you able to access the other health services, dental, mental, whatever other services you might need? Are you able to access those in the Valley? Are there places for you to exercise? Do you have access to healthy foods? And then emotional, are there services and or places that are available in the Valley that help you to handle stressful or unexpected situations? Do you find that there are support networks available, that kind of things, spiritual?
Has the 5th floor been replaced yet, do you know? Because they took that away, so on the emotional level, I don't think we're meeting that at all.
You know,
And it's the personal survey.
I don't know about the lockdown
Good
unit.
work, yeah.
I know that they do still have mental health services at St. Joe's. I don't know if they have the lockdown unit anymore.
Our mental health is,
So if you don't think that there is enough, I would put either not at all or somewhat.
but you might know more with what you do with the youth ranch.
I actually
have
put
mental health
not at
bill.
all.
Not at all, that's what I would, yeah.
So,
So then spiritual can be religious or not. And just kind of pick one if you feel like those services, programs, et cetera, are available. Intellectual, so ability to nurture and grow the mind through stimulating activities. I took this as cultural events, access to libraries, things of that nature, access to education if you so chose. And I would think of that one kind of on the broader spectrum of both, like, what do you engage with as an adult? What is available for your children to engage in as young people? And then social ability and opportunities of social interactions. Are there activities? Are there spaces? Are there things going on that fill that need for you? Housing and economics, access to quality housing and employment opportunities. Do you feel like we're doing good, not doing good? Where are we at there? And then environmental ability to care for and spend time in nature. So do you feel like there's enough public natural spaces, public open space, those sorts of things. And then if you have comments about any of those, feel free to jot it down in the comment section and I will fill that in when I enter your responses. And then number 5 is recognizing that change takes time. What should Lewiston's focus be to maximize positive impacts over the next 10 to 20 years? So the comprehensive plan is a 20-year plan, and that's why it's called Envision Lewiston 2044. So the idea is that it'll be adopted by council next summer, and it's with its goal to be, a planning horizon of 20 years. Previous comprehensive plan was adopted in 1999, and it did the same thing. It looked at Lewiston in 2020.
And so and this is just things we'd either like to see or.
Yep, you can, so it says choose your top 5, so increase the number, maintenance, and accessibility of neighborhood parks and recreation spaces. Do you feel like that's something that should be concentrated on? Promoting compact development styles that support a functional mix of land uses and maximize transportation options. That's something that the city should be concentrating on. Increase or improve public open space along the riverfront, like beaches or parks. That would be like along the levee system. Promote economic vitality along the riverfront for retail, restaurants, and entertainment options. So that goes with that waterfront plan that we developed several years ago, with the idea that there would be transition from that more industrial area that we currently see, like along Snake River back here where the P plant is, to more waterfront activity type stuff. Enhanced focal points or community character items, so like our Main Street, landscaping and public green spaces, historical preservation, wayfinding, signage, gateways, stuff like that, to create a sense of arrival to key areas. Increase waterfront accessibility for pedestrians and non-motorized vehicles. Again, that goes with the levee system. There are some barriers when it comes to like the train tracks and dealing with the Corps of Engineers. But again, the question is, do you think that's something the city should be concentrating on? Should we be promoting and fostering regional collaboration with the county, the tribe, Clarkston, et cetera? Should we be promoting more housing options, different family sizes, budgets, lifestyles, higher densities, alternatives, things other than just single family dwellings? Should we be strengthening employment opportunities, wages, types of jobs, et cetera, and economic resilience, the ability to foresee, adapt to, leverage changing conditions to Lewiston's advantage? Should we be enhancing public services like additional healthcare options, childcare options, education options, utilities, intergenerational programs, et cetera? So like both of you have mentioned, mental health services. Reducing risks and improving responses to and impacts from climate change, floods, droughts, fire, rising temperatures, things like that. Increasing the tree canopy, which is the number of trees in the city to help reduce temperatures and cooling costs while improving the stormwater runoff, air quality, property values, mental health. Creating a more multimodal transportation options and connections for motorized and non-motorized travelers. So multimodal usually includes pedestrian pathways, bike lanes, increasing public transit options, stuff like that. Improve public transit, again, goes with multimodal. maintain and expand roadway connections and public utilities for development. And then they've asked specifically, if you mark that last one,
Top five.
what you specifically want to see there. So if there's areas that you're thinking need improvement, that's where you should put that. And in my mind, that's things like, you know, people talk about 21st Street, people talk about Thane, they talk about Bryden. So I think they're looking specifically for road areas you think need improvement, and then for utilities, for land development, that would be like sewer and water connections, or the expansion of power or internet services. And then, number 6 is, what do you want Lewiston to be known for in the future? And you choose your top 3. So this is like innovation, safety. I took safety as being like a safe community, low crime rate. Vibrant economy, supportive of the community's health and well-being, a regional hub, a destination place, welcoming to all, having diverse housing options, its abundant and beautiful natural resources, 4 seasons of outdoor recreation, quality education availability, Idaho's premier waterfront city, our arts, entertainment, and culture, the historic downtown, ease of transportation, or other, and you can write in your option there. And then the other questions are all kind of statistical items, so best way to reach you if you want to stay. So this group is gonna stay connected because you get to see my pretty face every month, and I'm gonna talk
Absolutely.
about it. But if you want other connections, there's some options there. There's gonna be social media posts, we have a website set up, and there'll be some public workshop sorts of things. There'll be a utility billing mailer that goes out if you get a utility bill from us, stuff like that. And then it has, if you wanna be involved in small group meetings, you can do yes or no. And you can put your email address if you want to be emailed. You guys are all already on the consultant's list, because all boards and commissions are part of that. And then for the lowest part, that's all demographic information, so pick what your neighborhood is, what your age is, what your housing status is, race or ethnicity, and then household income.
We've got nows everywhere.
I know, I just noticed that. I'm gonna vote that.
You're more than fine.
I didn't do it, so, but I was circling. We'll figure out how many. I did receive a new one this morning, but I'd already printed all these, so I just went with this one. So we'll double check that one.
Put this back.
Yes, I want it back. You can just leave it on the table. And then when you guys are done, I think we have one more item to cover. And then we can be on our merry way. Right.
On our way to Tracy.
To the next gig, right?
Absolutely. The painting gig. Today,
Are you painting today?
yeah,
Good times.
yeah, finishing up the dining room. We're actually, our home was 1929, so we're actually restoring it to more of what it looked like in the era.
Cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where's your house at?
It's 12th Avenue, right by the football field. Yeah.
It's a nice little neighborhood.
Yeah, it's, I love it because it's not a through street either, right? Because it's blocked off on the one end, so we don't get a lot of zippy traffic and, yeah. But, yeah,
I enjoyed when I lived down there by the high school.
Hate a lot of zippy traffic. 113, next door, like, so people like,
Oh.
14th, and they whip down mine.
mhm. Oh, absolutely.
It's a speedway at 9 a.m. and 3:30. And like, I don't notice that unless I'm like home with a sick kid or something, and I'm like, why is there so much traffic noise? Oh yeah, people are in school. Okay.
You live on 13th Street, because you just looked at a house up there, you live on 13th Street, so that's That side is that of 14th Street, I'm trying to think, that's be towards,
We are in the west side of 14th. So 14th is where McSorley is.
okay.
We're one over to the west.
14th that goes to 4th. Gets to the top,
Yeah.
gets the zigzags.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
There's lots of weird ones. Yeah, and my street's technically not a through street because we're the funny little zip with Broadview, and it dead ends at the top and you go into Modi.
I won't be here on the 4th.
I believe you already told me that. I will make a note though. No, Dennis. Okay, are we ready to
Okay.
move on?
Yeah, we can move
You-
on and
you
I
can-
can fill that
Yes,
out
you can
later. Okay, let's finish this up.
Old business.
Old business.
Okay,
Plaques.
so we've approved the plaques narrative. I will be ordering the plaques. Included in your packet was a draft of the press release.
Looks good.
So hopefully that works with for everybody,
Mhm.
and I will get that pushed out. The idea is that, so it's one of those weird things where, and it's hard to do, and we will not have all of them posted. I know we won't. By the meeting in May, I still have to get, I still have to meet with some property owners regarding location. So I think we'll get half of them posted by then. And so the idea is we would do an unveiling at the May 4th meeting and just do it downstairs, for the one that'll go on this building. I do have maps available, but like I said, they won't all be posted by that meeting. I just know that that is an impossibility. But so rather than do this big thing where I have to issue weird agendas that give times and places and we do a big walk, we're gonna do it like that. And then we can figure out from there, what else we want to do. But the commission is gonna need to make those decisions and then it's gonna have to figure out getting those things scheduled.
Are we gonna do that on the 4th? Is that what you said?
We're gonna do the unveiling at the regular meeting on the 4th, on May
Okay.
4th.
Okay, so
We're gonna have a
and
news
now that,
coverage there, or?
I have no idea. I'm gonna send the press release out. I have no, I'm not in charge of news outlets. It gets sent to them like everybody else. They decide if it's important to them or not.
so there's a possibility, cause I'm gonna be out of town the 5th and 6th, so I might have to work on the 4th. But I will talk to Rachel and see if I can make it out.
Yeah, even if you could just be here for the beginning part.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I think we would do that at the beginning. We would like call to order down there, do a little thing, and then come upstairs and actually hold the rest of our meeting, whatever
At
that
10?
entails. Yes.
Okay, very cool.
And depending on if I get any applications between now and then, we might not have much else to do in the meeting.
Okay,
So it might just be the unveiling of the plaques.
okay, very cool.
That's what I got on that, so I will get those ordered this afternoon. And then I will start working with the building official about getting them adhered to buildings. And the press release out. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, and then also in May, at the first city council meeting in May, we will be doing the proclamation, for
What date's
historic
that
preservation.
meeting? I'm sorry, you know,
I believe it's the 8th. Hold on, let me double check my calendar.
I went to the last one. Sorry, I could look that up too, I'm sorry.
May 8th.
May 8th, okay. At,
May 8th at 6 o'clock at the library. Proclamations are usually like the first or second item done. So as many, and I'll send out like a reminder, well, we'll talk about it at the meeting, but I'll send out a reminder to everybody before that because I would prefer to have as many commissioners there as possible.
I know I won't be.
Yes, you said you were already out of town. Just because I mean, you guys asked for a proclamation to be made,
So, and when is that, the 8th?
May 8th at 6 p.m.
Okay,
at the library.
okay,
City
for the
council
meeting.
meeting.
Okay, we can do that.
Yep.
That's
That's all I got.
That's all I think we might need to finish up our
Any commissioner comments?
I just
surveys,
have one
but
comment. Mr. Wortman had mentioned before about there being an event at the library that maybe we could have someone speak, like Mr. Bush or Mr., is that?
That's in June,
June.
right? The library is celebrating their 10-year anniversary of being at the library. I don't know what the full schedule of those events are.
It's just now being kind of
Just-
decided.
Okay, so we're not missing out on, okay, just was wondering. Okay, that was my only comment.
all right. Are we ready? To do
I
the,
just have one other commissioner comment. Former Commissioner Ron Carlberg is in a life struggle at the moment. Keep him in mind. He has spent many, many years on this commission, probably 20 plus.
Really?
Yeah, he is very ill at the moment.
He was on our prayer list at church Sunday, put him on there. He's sad. He's a very good teacher, very good counselor, you know, a whole bit. Good person. Good mentor.
And the context here is that we've laughed about how long it's taken to get these plaques done, and he worked on plaques for years.
Okay, anything else?
well, I'm easing into how this actually works. It all takes a hot minute, so that's okay. Should we adjourn? Are we up to that, or anybody have any other comments? Lisa, you got anything?
No, I don't. Katie, I can attend May 4th and May 8th.
Fantastic. Marking it.
So can I.
Good night.
Thanks.
I have good representation.
Yeah, and I will make sure I make arrangements to be here for the first part of it at least. Okay?
Okay, so I think you just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, let's vote on that. Should we move to adjourn? Those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
Fantastic.
no opposition? Okay, totally cool. Thanks, folks.
I like it when we do it in and out.